Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm back. This reading is with the intention of looking at how to move forward from a situation. So if you feel drawn to this, then there's something in your life that you are trying to leave behind, but is probably having a difficult time doing so. So let's take a look and see what Spirit has to say. The first card that came out was this one, Activate Peace and Calm. And it feels to me like there's an element of as above, so below, kind of this feeling here of making sure that you see the whole picture of the situation and not get stuck on details, not kind of cherry picking things that you're wanting to hold on to. You know, you might sometimes, if we're not really wanting to let go, we have a tendency to pick out the things that we thought were good, and kind of overlook the stuff that we do know were not good for us, we're not aligning with who we are. So my feeling with this is that it's important that you strive to see the situation for what it was or is. Most of you are, I'm kind of seeing this timeline, and most of you are like in a position where you've just taken one step away from what this is. In the sense that this has been, for most of you, if this is resonating, then it has been going on for quite some time, and there's been different chapters, but it's like you have recently, or you will shortly, take a step that kind of changes the direction of something. So let's see, what comes up here. But something has shifted, that's for sure. Your presence is requested was the next card that came out, and my feeling with this is that Spirit is like, keep your focus on this. Whatever it is that you're going through, be kind to yourself and kind of keep your focus on your progress, not so much what has happened, what has occurred, your role, other people's roles, that kind of thing, but keep your focus on what is going on right here and now. What can you do right here and now? There's a sense of abundance and prosperity ahead here, that this comes with the feeling of this is worth doing the work for. You are being transported, I'm hearing, to a much better timeline, and it may not seem like that to all of you. Change can sometimes be difficult, but at the bottom of this card is alignment. It's coming together, precision. So it's kind of like there's a specific path that you were meant to walk, a specific event that is meant to occur at this point in your time. For some of you, it's like opening up to seeing the path that you were actually meant to walk. Here's harmony, balance, the sanctuary, this feeling of, it's like you were meant to find this place of alignment within yourself. And this does not necessarily, this is not necessarily like a specific place or anything, but it's kind of like you need to find your way home to yourself, to that place of feeling fulfilled. Whatever it is that you're leaving behind here has somehow drained your energy, and is not in alignment with the path that your soul came here to walk. All right, Spirit. What is the challenge in this, other than the fact that most times, we might feel things are difficult to leave behind, especially if it has been very meaningful on some level. And meaningful doesn't always mean that it has, felt good all the time. But this has been a huge lesson. Whatever this is in your life, this is a big karmic lesson that is about to shift. Yeah, here's the Five of Pentacles. This situation has left you feeling depleted, has left you feeling in a state of lack, like you didn't belong. I hear like you didn't have what it takes to be successful, like your life is kind of dull. See how dark this card is? There's this sense of not being, that not being good enough. That's kind of like, but not being deserving. And this situation that you're leaving behind here, whatever that is, has somehow contributed to that feeling. And so it's time to activate peace and calm, to get yourself, I'm kind of seeing this bird here, it's like to get yourself out of this situation, you need to fly above whatever this is and see it for what it is. Some of you have kind of twisted this into something it's not. All right, Spirit, tell me about the Five of Pentacles. Whoa. Ace Cups and the Empress. Yeah, this situation has somehow tampered with, I hear, your ability to see yourself as the Empress, your ability to see your own worth, your ability to see your own abundance, your capability of creating the life that you want. It's kind of like you've been put in the darkness. And that's not to say, that you don't have, of course we always have, if I could talk, that would help. Of course, we always play a part in whatever it is that's going on. But something has definitely tampered with your energy, and with this your present is requested. It's kind of like you've been overlooking it or allowing it at some level. Here's the Sun. Yeah, it's kind of like something needs to be brought to light. You need to see this in clear daylight and not wrapped up in moon energy, I hear. It's sort of like there's been this unwillingness to see it in the light. And I don't mean that in a, you've done anything wrong, or, this is just a process. Tell me more about this, Spirit. What is it that the you is not seeing here? The Emperor. Now here's the Empress and the Emperor. So there's this energy of you not really demanding enough of life, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you haven't really stepped into, I do deserve good things. I do deserve happiness. I do, I am the Empress here. So I do deserve the Emperor energy in my life, in my relationships, in the way that I connect with other people. There's something, which emotions does the viewer have to recognize and feel in order to shift this and let it go from their lives? What are they not seeing here, Spirit? Eight of Wands. Something is moving here. I always see this card as very much connected to Spirit. Not that, it's necessarily has to be, but here to me, like all these dots of light, it's like Spirit is like, hey, we're showing you the signs. We're giving you all the information. We're here. We're showing up. We're trying to tell you. We are, all of this. There's an urgency with that. With the Eight of Wands, of course there is, but King of Wands here, the Devil, and the Hangman. Yeah, there's definitely, with the hangman, there's definitely this energy of this has been going on for a while, and it's kind of like with this devil energy, you're just not seeing it, or wanting to see it is probably more like it. But there's definitely a need for you to change your perspective on something. Here's the King of Wands, which is you, is my feeling. And it's like, see here, connect to spirit and see this for what it is. Here's the Eight of Wands again. It's like you're not really allowing all the goodness to come in here. It's like you just not stepping out of this, this victim mentality. I kind of hate that word, but it's like you're not, for some reason, you're not seeing your own worth here. And perhaps, this is an old pattern. This can be a karmic pattern that's lying there. This can be another energy in your life that has, been telling you things that are not true. With this devil thing here, it can be deceit, betrayal, that kind of thing. An energy that has put you in this lack mentality, or in this mentality of not believing that you're truly worthy. Here's the Chariot, so something's definitely moving. How can we work with this energy, Spirit, and connect with this King of Wands energy here? Nine of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Five of Wands here. This feels to me kind of like this internal battle. And perhaps, some of you are very much in your head, going back and forth between the Nine of Cups, your wish fulfillment, your ability to be happy, to create happiness in your life, and then this Nine of Swords that's like the anxiety, the worry, kind of like this devil energy. Here, I feel it like it's someone else, that has put these thoughts in your head. And again, this, for some of you, this is childhood stuff. This is things that you have learned a long, long time ago. And it's, Spirit is like, it's time to step out of this mindset and into the Nine of Cups energy, the self-love, the, seeing yourself with love, with compassion, with, kind eyes. And away from this here. Here's the Ten of Swords at the bottom. So there's a cycle here that needs to end, where you have been really, really hard on yourself. And again, for some of you, it's kind of been activated by other people's lack of, other people not seeing you for who you are. But it's this, here's the mask lying over here. I'm seeing, and the mother dropped out here. For some of you, this is the pattern that your mom, your upbringing has brought on, something from your maternal line, perhaps. But it's like, it's time to take off that mask so that you can shine. See how much color, how much light, how much brightness is here. This Emperor's energy. There's a need here to step out of all of this lack over here and see, the Ace of Cups. Give yourself, there we go. Give yourself this, a chance for a new beginning that's much more grounded in love, that's much more grounded in seeing your own worth, seeing yourself in this Empress energy. There's definitely a cycle that needs to end here. What is the viewer not seeing here? What don't they see coming? There's the Chariot, so there's something that's moving here. Tell me about the Chariot. What's going on? Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you're working on this. You might not be aware of that you are, and some of you are aware of it, but you're definitely working on this. Tell me more, Spirit. The Magician. Tell me more. Fortune. Yeah, something is definitely moving here. This is about you seeing your own ability to create. Here's the Page of Pentacles. See how connected she looks here. It's kind of like she's, sending all these wishes out into the universe. It's like you're needing to see your own inner magician, to somehow create something where you are regaining your faith in your ability to manifest. Why does that need to be regained? Four of Pentacles. It's right there, You're definitely able to create security for yourself. But for some reason, it's like there's a part of you that don't believe that. Four of Wands is at the bottom here. So yeah, this stability, the stable foundation. Here's the Seven of Wands, but it's like you kind of feel like, oh yeah, see here, Seven of Wands, Hermit mode. Some of you has been in this kind of not really moving, not really, something's just been still. And here's the Six of Cups. So whatever pattern it is that is making you or has put you in this lack thing is something that stems, from the past. And for some of you, this has been going on for a while. You've kind of been going within, sitting there pondering, what is it? Why am I not really manifesting what I'm wanting to manifest? See how my voice is. Yeah. There's something you have either not told yourself or has told yourself that is, at the root of all of this, something that is not true. Because, well, yeah, then it's something that you have told yourself that's not true. Duh. What is it? Spirit. Transformation. I feel like you have told yourself that something that is actually over isn't quite over. That something that doesn't work, is not going to work, is not going to transform, is not over. It's kind of like you've been holding on to this little bit of hope of whatever it is, that somehow this could, transform into something else. And because you have been holding on to that, you haven't moved. So, tell me about that. What is it? Can we know what it is? This might be different from everybody, but there's something in your life that you have been holding on to. You haven't seen all the signs. The Spirit has been trying to tell you. They've sent you signs. They've sent you information. They've, shown you this is not, this is not what you think it is. But it's kind of like this old pattern that you've been carrying for a long time has made you stuck, has kept you in this, well, maybe, if something twists a little bit, maybe if blah, 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 blah. And this has prevented you from actually manifesting your wish fulfillment, from actually creating, this brand new beginning filled with love, with self-care, with a much better, something. And for some of you, this is like a pattern from the maternal line where, you kind of been brought up with a belief of who you are, what things are supposed to look like, what you can and can't do. But it's simply not true. So what's what's going to transform from this in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks or so? Justice. This feels like karmic justice to me. This is you seeing that, wait a minute, this is not my truth. This is something that has been kind of put on me, my family line, from, whoever has passed this down, a relationship that's shown you this, or whatever it is, but it's like you seeing, finally, this is not my truth. This is not my truth of who I am, what I can create, how I want to live, what a situation is, whatever it is, you're going to see it from a new perspective. It's kind of like, I get this feeling of, something snaps and you're like, whoa, now that's what it is. That's the truth of what it is. It's not, whatever this was over here. Tell me about the Justice card here for the viewer. King of Cups. Tell me more, Spirit. Ace of Swords. Yeah. You're going to see something very, very clearly about love, about what you want in a relationship, what you are bringing to the table, what gives you peace and calm, what abundance means to you, with this prosperity, abundance. This is going to, whatever is happening here is going to really clearly show you what you want or don't want, what love is to you. And probably in a lot of cases here is not. I have a feeling with this that it's going to come in quite quickly. And it's like you're going to see a situation or someone else or your own view about something from a totally different perspective. And it's going to be like, oh, this is what, love is for me. I need to make better choices for myself or different choices for yourself. It's like a wisdom, an inner, it's kind of like I'm seeing someone unwrapping a gift and it's like you go like, oh, wow, so this is what love is. Some of you might be meeting someone new, or it's just kind of like you're connecting to yourself in a way you never have before, and you're like, I never knew that this, whatever it is that dawns on you is going to give you the ability to make much, much more abundant choices for yourself. Here's the Two of Pentacles. To create something with other people that has higher value, higher, is more passionate, more aligned and tuned, all of that. See how the third eye is there. This is going to somehow open up for you to make choices based on what your intuition is telling you. It's kind of like in the past, you have known this, but you've somehow overwritten it. It's like you've been like, oh, no, that, that can't be because, love is like this, or maybe if I fight a little harder for it, then, or, that kind of thing. It's like you've been telling yourself these stories that has not been true about what love actually is to you, Can I see a little bit more about what's coming in here in the next, I would say 2 or 3 weeks, but time is a fluent thing. Temperance, yeah. Balance. It's like something is basically balancing out. You're seeing it for what it is with the Ace of Swords. And you're somehow finding a much better sense of balance in yourself. Can we get some advice here, Spirit? There's some advice here. Ace of Pentacles. This is like you reaching out, grabbing your future, going like, I'm ready now. I'm going to actually manifest, seeing from, because it's like all of a sudden you know what love is, you know. Whatever this is, information, intuition, something that's going to happen, whatever it is, it's going to make you realize what love looks like for you. And once you have that realization, it's like the world is open, you know. The magician in you is like, now I know what it is I want to create. Now I know what true abundance is for me. And once you know it, once you see it, once you feel it, then you can create it. Because the mask is off now. So you know what it is you're actually, you know, you're wanting. It's kind of like you've had this masked vision of what abundance was based on something someone has taught you way back when. Perhaps you have unconsciously been mirroring your parents' relationship in some way, and you're like, no, that's not, you know, that's not love. And if your parents had a lovely relationship, you know, then it's something karmic, something, you know, somewhere else in your line. But it's like all of a sudden you're realizing this. Two of Swords, and you can make better choices. Something is being unblocked. Can we know? Yeah, Wisdom Keeper here when I split the card. A new perspective, studying and learning. It's something that's coming in or showing up in your life is teaching you this. And I have this feeling of poof, it's like 1 second you are kind of struggling with this, and the next second it's like something dawns on you. You see something differently. Focus on self-care. So basically the message is to right now, you know, focus on self-care. Focus on this peace, this feeling of peace and calm. And perhaps it's because you know how it is. It's difficult to see things for what they are. If we are, you know, in this Nine of Swords energy, if we are have anxiety, we don't sleep well, we are stressed, we are overthinking, we are all of that. And Spirit is like, try and turn, you know, your focus away from that. Your presence is requested with the calm within yourself. And now this is not as easy as it is sitting here saying that. I realize that if you're in this anxiety mode, it's like it's difficult to step out of. But there's definitely a need for you to try and turn your attention towards the peace and calm. It's like I'm seeing someone sitting there kind of like focusing on, all right, what's the truth of this? What's at the core of this? Yeah, the High Priestess, connecting to your intuition. And again, I know that's not necessarily easy when you're in the Nine of Swords energy, but it is very much called for right now. In order for you to move forward from whatever this is, you really need to reconnect with your intuition and kind of find that space where you know what's intuition and what's the Nine of Swords. You know, I'm seeing someone sitting with their candle lit and just kind of focusing on the candle. Perhaps, you know, trying to meditate can of course be difficult, especially if you're very anxious. But, you know, there's a lot to be gained in lighting that candle, sitting there and just focusing on that, breathing, seeing the candle, breathing, seeing the candle, breathing, and working on being open to whatever pops into your head. It's kind of like that sense that I'm getting, that gather your focus, your presence on connecting with Spirit. It's not easy. You can see that. Here's the Seven of Pentacles, which doesn't look very pleasant in this, but there's also the Flower. So you can do this. It's gonna require some work. Yeah, there's some pain behind this. And here's the Lovers. So for some of you, this situation, you know, is painful because whoever, you know, has shown you this pattern in this situation is someone that you care deeply about. So leaving this behind is not easy, but there definitely is this sense of you needing to learn what love actually is. And that's what this is showing you. So I hope this makes sense, guys. It seems a little, I don't know, messy in some way, but I think that's because whatever this was, it was messy. It was confusing. It was, you know, with this devil energy here, there was probably betrayal, definitely confusing, definitely, you know, a level of lying, both the other energy to you and probably also you to yourself about what this was. And, you know, I'm just kind of like the very, very confusing energy, not really being able to know what is up, what is down, what, you know, is this. But clarity is coming. And the karmic justice in this is that you will finally know what love really is to you. And once you know that, you know, you can go out and work on creating your Nine of Cups, your wish fulfillment, because you'll be creating from a much more abundant place with the Ace of Pentacles here. So if this resonates with you, please click like, subscribe, write me a comment. I will greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. Big love.